everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers and those that have been with me. And today I want to do another file folder pocket, but this time I want to use some zipper on it. So what I've done is this was a piece of zipper. I think they're about 6 or 7 inches long. And I made a couple of templates out of just vanilla cardstock that I'm going to be covering. And then my plan is to put this on here, kind of like that. And I'm going to be using this vintage Airline digital from Zigi, I think it's called Zigi Digitals or something like that. I'll link it below. So my plan is I would like to have this airplane peeking through. And then I want to add some of this paper that I used on my criminal file folder to kind of come in and add little bits and pieces of it to make it look cool. So what I want to do first is I want to make my 2 templates, or cut my 2 pieces of paper that are going to go on top of this. So I'm just going to use these that I had already cut out, and I have a template here that I use. So all I did was put it on some vanilla cardstock, trace around it, and cut it out. And basically I'm going to do the same thing again, but on this digital. So I'm just going to trace around and then cut this out, and this will get glued on the front. Oops. Get my fingers all figured out here. Okay, so here's one, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this one up here. Trying to capture these airplanes. And I think this will be going on the inside, so when the pocket's open you will see it. I'm not too worried about the front back, but I do want to cover the inside back. So let me just cut these out. I had no idea what I was going to do today, and I'm really not sure how this is going to turn out because I didn't do one ahead of time. Sometimes I like to do that just to see what I'm doing, but I thought, why not just bring you guys along with me and let's just figure this out together. So that's what we're going to do. And hopefully we'll have a good piece that's finished. The only thing I did ahead of time was make the 2 pieces that these will go on to. There's my pencil line. And then I also made a couple gussets. This time I made them 2 inches wide, and then I scored them on every 1/2 inch. So this is what we'll end up with. And again, I just made it the size of what my piece is. So whatever your piece ends up being, then you would just do the same thing as far as height. And then that way it would fit your project. Almost got it. I'm going to be using, again, ground espresso, distress ink. Almost got it. Just bottom part done. Okay. Clear off my table here. Move everything aside. So this is the one I want on the front here. And then this one I want on here. And then that way when they go together and you open it up, you will see something interesting inside. So we've got that. Now let's kind of figure out how we want the zipper. Now what I did on this is I took it to my machine, I did a zigzag, and I just went back and forth on here just to hold it in place, and then I cut it and used my cutters to actually cut that piece of zipper off. And I think I kind of want it off to the side. I want a little bit of that airplane showing through. So I think it'll end up going like that. So before we get to this, let's go ahead and get some grunging done. We've got to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and use ground espresso. Go around all the edges again. You make it as grungy as you want to or not. You can do it either way, whatever your style is. I've really been enjoying some of the grunge lately, so I've been doing quite a bit of it. I'm doing both sides because I want it to just be uniform. Most of this is going to get covered up, but I like to have it on here just to be sure that I'm not seeing any of the vanilla peeking through. So I'm just going to continue doing that on this piece as well. And then I'm also going to grunge up the pieces that are going on top. And again, you can grunge the back completely or cover it, or you can leave it as is and glue it down. Either way, you can do whichever style you're looking for, whatever you want. If you want this to go inside a pocket, then I would cover the back, or I would stencil on it, or just do something like that. Or you would just go ahead and cover it, and then you can put it into a pocket, whatever style you're looking for. So I want this to look pretty grungy here. So I'm just going to keep adding some of this on here, and a little bit deeper into the corners is what I like. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put corners on this because I haven't really thought this one through at all. I do want this to have it on this back side too, even though it's not going to be showing. I just want to make sure none of the white is showing through. So probably a little more than what I need, but I'm okay with that. And let's get this piece done. I might put corners on this. I really like the way the other one came out with the corners. Let's see. We'll see how we go as we progress along on this. Sometimes I like to just wing it. Start a project on camera and see what happens. And other times, if I'm not too sure about what I'm doing, then I like to do something ahead of time. And I'm really not sure what I'm doing on this one yet. I'm going to go ahead and wing it anyway. That's this way. And then this one will glue on this, and then eventually they will go together like this with the gussets. While I'm inking, I'm going to go ahead and do these. Just grunge them up. I'm going to have this side out. So I'm going to add a little bit more on that, but I do want to get all these folds. And in between, add as much grunge as you want. I want it to really look grungy, so let's see how we look. Whoops. Butterfingers here. Yeah. A little bit more. So that would look pretty cool on the outside. So let's fold this one and we'll do the same thing. Grunge it up. We may as well get this all done while we're doing it. And then that way we can just get to all the fun parts, putting it together. Again, you do whatever is your style, whatever you like. Okay, almost there. Get this a little more grungy, especially here. Whoops, I'm just flipping it around today. Let me get this edge too, because I want that to look grungy. So when it's folded, we have this peeking out. Let me get this end of it. Put that grunge on there. I like it. Okay. I think we got this pretty good. This one, not so much. Let's get this grunged up. I think I'm putting more on my fingers than I am on my project. But that's okay. Okay, so let's see. I want it to go like this. So let's make sure this is good and grungy. All right. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's move on. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to glue these on, and then I'm going to stitch around it all. So first let's get the glue. Oops, let's get the glue on. I am using art glitter glue because it's my favorite, and I like my projects to not be warped, and I also like them to make sure that they're going to last. So that's why I use it. A little more expensive, but in my mind, well worth it. Okay, so there's that piece, and let's go ahead and glue this one. And then I also, in the same kit, there's all these vintage airline ticket kind of tag things that I made a airline vintage tag a while back, or ticket a while back, using a junk envelope. And so I cut some of those out, and I also put them on this paper, of which we're going to grunge up after I cut them out. But I thought that it picked up the nice color in here on these, and it also ties in with this. So I like that color there. So that's what I printed out. We'll work on the tags as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some stitching and be right back. Okay, I have them all stitched. Better cover up my glue before I won't have it working for me. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have them all stitched all the way around the front and then the inside part. And I want to go ahead and do a little bit more grunging. So I want to take my ground espresso, add some of this into my project. Again, do as much grunging as you want. And then I want to take a little bit of water and do some splattering. So I'm going to put some in my hand. Get some big drops. You can do this or you don't have to do this. Either way, it's entirely up to you. Just give it a couple seconds. You can already see the reaction that we're getting. So that looks pretty cool there. And on this one, so I'm just going to take a paper towel now and just blot it. So now we have that. A lot more grunge. I like it. I love the reaction that's going on in here now. It gives it just a really grungy, vintagey look. Okay, so let's go ahead and while this is drying a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and move ahead and cut these out. And I want to leave just a little bit of a border, and actually I think I'm going to use my decal edge trimmer. I want them to kind of be grungy. You know, more grunge. So let's put this in here. And let's try to give them just a little bit of a border. I'm not sure if this is perfect. Yeah, actually, that's good. I think this end I need just a tad more off. So let's do that. That's pretty good. Now let's do the side. A little bit more. Yeah, that's better. Actually, I want that about the same on the bottom, so I'm gonna take just a little bit more off. There we go. Sorry, this is so noisy, but I love it. It does a good job. Let's try that. Yep. And I want to make sure this one's kind of off a little bit, so let me just put that down just a little bit and do the rest. There we go. And let's get that one. I think I want a tiny bit more off of this one side. And off the bottom. A tiny bit more. There we go. So we get something like this. Yeah. So I'm going to do the other two. And I'm sorry that this is noisy. It is a cool look that it gives you. So you just kind of have to put up with the noise a little bit. But that's okay. All right. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, and then let's get this one a little bit more. Perfect. And this one. And I think we're done with the noise. All right. So we've got that done. And I am going to stitch around those as well. And I haven't figured out how I want to do the tops yet. I was thinking of maybe the metal index pieces. I might add those on top of here. But before I go ahead and do the stitching, let's go ahead and give them some grunge. We definitely need that. And meanwhile, the other ones are drying, so they'll be dry shortly here. So I want to just grunge this up. I've been enjoying doing a lot of this grunge. I know I said that earlier, but I really have. It's not always something that has come easy for me. And I know I've shared in earlier videos on my channel that I was terrible at vintage, much less grunge. And I took about a year. And I just practiced and played and practiced and played. And I just, kept working on it till I got to where I was comfortable with it, because I wasn't. My style before was pretty clean and simple, and that's what I did back then. But I always wanted to do vintage and grunge, and I always felt that I just didn't have it. So taking that time of just practicing and playing and doing that just really helped. So on the back of these, let's just go over it. Just so that they're not stark plain. And you're not going to see too much of this, but if you take it out, you will. Oops. So, yeah, grunge them up however you want them. Or you can put another digital on the back of something. I'm just going to go ahead and do this time. And you can also splatter if you want to. Okay, so we got those, and those I will stitch shortly. But first, let's work on this. So I want to take my zipper and get that glued on here. And I like the metal piece hanging down. But actually, before I put this on, I think I'd better stitch the bottom and put the gussets in. And the reason why I say that is because I won't be able to with this metal piece right here. So let's do that. Let's put this together. And we're going to just glue these on. And then I am going to stitch the bottom like I did the other one the other day. So let's do that. And I want the mountains to be visible on the outside. So you've got the mountains and the valleys, and I want it this way. Right close to the edge. Press that down good. And we'll do the same thing on this one. Like so. That glued on here. My husband had bought me a Husqvarna sewing machine last year that's heavy duty, and it is perfect for doing like thick pieces like this. So we're going to have a little bit more of a pocket on this one than we did on the other one, because the other one I only did 1/4 inch. These I did 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then I'm going to stitch the bottom, and while I'm stitching that, I will stitch those tags that are going to go on the inside here. And then we will continue on with the zipper. I want to make sure I get this lined up well. Kind of cumbersome, but it can be done. Just need to work it and make sure it's lined up, and then press it down. So now we've got that, and of course the bottom is open. So I'm going to stitch that closed just like I did the other one. So that's what I'm going to go do, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have all the stitching done. So I've stitched along here, so now we have our pocket, and it is a much bigger pocket because we made the gussets bigger. Then I did the tags, and I used a different stitch on this. I thought, why not do something different? I like it because it kind of makes it look even more grungy. So yeah, so I'm liking these. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to our zipper. And I'm going to have this airplane peek through. So I'm going to use some Fix or Fabri-Tac, whatever it is you have. I think it works really good with the zipper and holds it on here good. So I'm going to just add the glue on each side of this. And kind of generously, because I want to make sure that it stays, but not too much. And then the challenge comes to get it laid down exactly the way I want it. So I think I want it about like so. And the zipper will kind of conform and get it exactly the way you want it. And then just press that down. Like that. So we've got that on there. And I like the little metal piece. I like these zippers that I got. I got these from Amazon. It's been a long time ago, and they worked really well. So now what I want to do is tear some pieces of this. Again, I have no idea how this is going to work, so we're going to give it a try. So I've got that, and I'm kind of thinking I don't want to cover up too much, and I want this white part because I want to grunge it up. So I'm going to go ahead and tear this. And I'm tearing it toward me. So I want the white. If you don't want the white, you tear it away from you. In this case, I really want this because I want it to look kind of grungy. And so kind of like that. So let's go ahead and grunge this up again with the ground espresso. Give it as much grunge as you want. And then we're just going to tear some pieces off and add to this. We'll see how it goes. So, I want that white part take on this ink. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay, so let's kind of tear this. I'm not tearing it even. I want it to be just kind of, let's see. I think I kind of like that one here. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue that down. Art glitter glue again. Even though it's going on the fabric, it will work perfectly, I believe. And we want that. So I'm just going to hold that down. Okay. And let's see. Just stick that on there. Again, I'm just kind of winging it. Not really sure how this is going to look, but okay. Now let's get this side. Okay, right about there. Grunge that up. I'm going to have lots of ink on my hands when I get done. I'm okay with that. I don't mind having some of the ink on my fingers because it just gives me satisfaction in the project that I've done. Let's see. Which way looks best? I think this way. Yep. So let's glue that down. I'm just going to kind of manipulate it a little bit, move it around, kind of cover up some of that zipper. And then let's just tear off top. Okay. Now I want to add a couple of things to the corners. I think I just want to tear some pieces. Let's grunge that up. Just kind of want it to look vintagey. Very vintagey, I think. So we'll do that, and then I can tear off, and let's put a piece up here. So let's just do it right here. Glue that down, and then I will tear off the excess, just like that, and then hit it with the ground espresso again. Same over here. Tear that off. Give it a rough edge. So it looks like it's kind of torn. Let's do this down here now that this is drying. So that's kind of what I want. And let's see, what do we do next? What should we do next? I think it needs some splatters. And I'm not going to do anything on the back because I would envision this kind of being stuck on a page in a journal. And some of these projects that I made, they're really grungy. I would like to do a journal at some point and add those in. So let's see, if we were to just pop these in just to see what they look like, we would have this kind of like that. So it needs a metal piece. We need some eyelets here, I think, and we need some splatters. So I'm going to grab some eyelets. I'm going to grab one of the index metal clips and also get some white splatters ready. So I'll be right back. All right, I got some goodies. So I'm going to use one of this metal index metal clips. Again, these are from 49 and Market. Get one of those out. Perfect color. I'm going to put that here. And I just cut a piece out of the digital. It had this number 301. And I thought, okay, why not? Let's just put that there. So let me glue that on first, because that way I can do the splattering and capture some of that. We'll put that in the center, right about there, and then our index clip will go right over it nicely like that. Okay, so let me move this aside, and let's just do a little bit of white splatters. So I have taken just some acrylic paint. I've added some water to it. I think I need to add a little bit more. And then we'll just give it some splatters. Just random. And I think, no, I'm going to go ahead and just give it some splatters. Not going to worry about where. Just going to do it. Like that. Sure, I got what I want on here. I think that looks pretty good. Set that aside, and I'll get my heat gun and just dry these quickly. Shouldn't take long because they're pretty small splatters, but it really does add to the grunge and gives it just some more interest along with the stitching. And then we'll put some eyelets on these as well. And I'm trying to think if I want to put anything in the eyelets. I'm not really sure what I want to do there. We'll just wait and see. Just want to make sure these are good and dry so we don't mess up our splatters. If you don't like splatters, you don't have to put them on. I like them on certain projects. I think it just brings character and it does add to the grunge. Okay, I think we're good. So let's get our metal clip, and I want to put that here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. Just going to add some glue because I want it to stay and not come off. If you don't want it to stay, then you just don't have to glue it. I have tried crimping it, not a fan at all. So glue works for me. So I'm just gluing that on. That will stay in place, just like that. And let's make sure our other ones are dry. It looks like it. This one's not quite. Let me just hit this a little bit more right here so we don't mess it up. You can see it when it's shiny. Let me just make sure this one, oh, this one too. Just hit that a little bit more, make sure it's dry. Don't want to mess up our splatter. Okay. All right, let's do some eyelets. Grab my eyelet box. Here's my eyelet and brad box. I get these from Harbor Freight. And I think I want to use these copper ones. Got copper here. Got copper, kind of a brassy copper here. So let's use these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get our crocodile. And let's see. I think I'm going to do one on the side here. They don't always have to be in the center. You can put them wherever you want them. Initially, I always thought, well, it's a tag, so it should go in the center. No, it doesn't have to go in the center. This one I'm going to put on this side. And maybe we'll add some charms. I don't know. We'll see. Whoop. So we got that. We got that. Cool. This one I will put in the center. Trying not to do this, hit the stitching either with my crocodile punch. Don't want to have it coming apart. Okay, so we got that one. And this one I'll put on this side. I don't want to hide this little piece here that looks kind of like it's a metal piece on the tag. Okay. All right, so this is what we have. That. Maybe I will add some sari silk. And I think I do want corners. Maybe though, but on, I don't know, maybe all 4 sides, maybe 2. I'm not really sure. Let me grab my corners and also some charms. And let's see what else we can do here. Okay, I picked out a few things. I didn't go for any charms. I decided to add these stars. These are Tim Holtz. And I put some alcohol ink on them, which is drying right now. And I just used Latte. So this is the alcohol ink that I used. So just grunging those up a little bit. And I like the sari silk. So I pulled some of this out. And just going to cut a couple more pieces. I like the way it looks. So it looks really cool on that. So let's add this to the rest while the alcohol ink is drying. And I'm just going to tie it. Just like that. And cut off. So we've got those two. Let's do these two. You can leave them short, cut them short, you can leave them long. Whatever you like. And let's do this one a little shorter. Okay, so we've got our tags. There they are. Love them. Love it with the white splatters and all the grunging. And then the sari silk and the eyelets. Perfect. Let's see how these are doing. I think they're almost dry. And I thought it just needed something. So what I want to do is put these couple of larger ones and a couple of smaller ones. So let's see. I'm thinking like here. I don't want it to be in a straight line. Let's do that. And then over here, let's put this bigger one at the bottom. And then this one kind of over here. And then also I'm going to add 2 corner pieces. They're just sitting here. I haven't glued them on, but I want to add those on to the top corners because the bottom is too thick. I did try it. It was just too thick to add on, and I just thought, well, it really doesn't need it. So let's go ahead and glue these down. And again, I'm just going to use some art glitter glue. Oops, little slidey there. Push on that just a little bit. The glue will dry clear, so I'm not too worried about that. I just kind of want these random. So stars just kind of reminded me of aviation. I don't know why. I guess because sometimes they do have a star on their, I don't know, their badge? I don't know. I just liked it. You don't have to put these on if you don't want to. Whoops. Look at this. Get on there. There we go. Okay. So I think it adds to the grunginess, right? I like it. So let's just press on these a little bit and get these to hold on. And then I'll go ahead and glue these corners on too. Those on. Okay, grab my little pliers. And just kind of crimp these down just a little bit, just to hold. Like that. And like that. I don't want to crimp them too much. Got lots of glue on them. Okay, so now we can see our final product. Just like glue, clear this off a little bit, and just want to make sure these hold before I lift it up this way, but we can put the tags in. So let's just add these. Let's see. On this side, let's put this one in the middle. This one over here. And then this one will just pop up the back. Kind of like that. Okay. There's our finished product. Okay, it was fun. It came together nicely, and it's got a lot of grunge, and I'm having a ball doing these mini file folder pockets. This one with a zipper, our metal piece, our metal stars that I have just used alcohol ink on, so everything kind of really ties together nicely. And ready to go into a project. Alright guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. You'll give it a try, and I'd love to see your work. So I always put my Instagram and my Facebook. I link those always on my videos. I will link the digital I used on this. And yeah, so you guys give it a try. We'll see you at the next video, which is going to be next week on Monday. And again, I have no clue what I'm doing. I will be giving that some thought and come up with something fun, a fun project again. You guys have a great day today. God bless you all, and see you next video. Bye.